Hi everyone. So today we are still at day 5, but I'll be sharing with you the second part of the day 5 exercises. So this is the one you can see here. So let's get into it. So firstly, just have to run. So make sure you set up complete. So you have not tried the part 1 of day 5. I highly encourage you to try it first because it will set the foundation of what is actually list. And once you're able to do that, you are you have a better you're in a better position to tackle this exercise. Okay, so let's look at question 1. So basically it's saying that this code itself has a bug and we have to try to identify the bug and fix it. So usually when I encounter this kind of questions, right, I will try to replicate in the code editor and to see what is wrong with it. Okay. And if the code editor also replicate the same kind of results, and then try to find out what went wrong. As you can see here, what is wrong with this? So if you try to run inside the code editor, right, you will realize that no matter what you do, right, it's actually false. Okay, so why is that so? So firstly, you have to try to understand what this code actually means. So you can see here, this is a for loop, and this is an if-else statement. But you realize that this if-else statement is actually inside the for loop, which means to say that every time the for loop runs one time, 2 times, 3 times, this will actually result in you'll return true or false. Okay, so you run many times of true and false, and ultimately the last element, whether it fulfills this equation, will be the final answer. Okay, so for example, if the list is 1, 2, 7, 5, okay, we just take it that this is the list that was given to us. This is nums. Okay. So the first element, is it 7? Is it divisible by 7? No. Okay. So it's will return as false. So the first result will actually be false. Okay. Then the second element is 2. Is it divisible by 7? No. So it's false as well. What about the third element? Yes, it's true. And what about the last element? Okay, the last element is also false. Okay, but because this is in a for loop, this if else statement is a for loop, you will only return the last element. Okay, because every time it runs, it will return true or false, and ultimately, when it comes to the last element, this will be the final answer. So in this case, it will be false. So that is the bug in the cell below. So what you should do is actually remove this else and make this false statement outside of the for loop. Okay, so if the number detect that this is 7, you will return true. Okay, and that is the final answer. But if they run through the list and you find that there's no answer, there's no element that is divided by 7, will actually return false. And this will be the final return statement. Okay? Okay. So your return false should be outside of the for loop. And also it says that value of nums is given nums equals to when the nums is empty. So when the list is empty, we also should return as false. So what you can do is you find the length of the list. So the length of the list should not be a 0. Okay, if it's not equal to 0, that is returned true. Okay, so let's run it. So it's correct. Next, question 2. So basically this will return an error lah, because this is not the length. This will not return the length of the list, and that's why it will be incorrect. Oops, wait, uncomment first. Yeah. So this one must be an integer in order for this comparison to work. So let's take a look. So you want to return the booleans like false, false, true, true. Okay. So this is the list that will be given to us. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have to see whether the element inside this list is greater than 2 or not. So in this case, the first element is not greater than 2, so it's false. This one also not greater than 2. This one is greater than 2, so it's true. This one is greater than 2, this is true as well. So what you can do is, first you create an empty list first. Okay, so this list will actually contain all the results that you see here. Okay, so for n in L, if n more than hash result dot append true, else result dot append false. Then return result. Okay, so what this is saying is that you create a for loop. So for n in L, so every element in L, you will do a comparison. If n is more than thresh, which is more than 2, you actually will append this result, means we'll add the true result inside this list. Okay, and if it's not, then we'll append false. Append means addition. So we'll add this result inside the list. Okay, so we just add, and answer should be correct. Okay. Next, we go to question 3. So complete the body of function below according to its dot string. Menu is boring. So this approach is very similar to what we did in part 1. Is that we need to switch the first element and last element. We need to switch the position. So over here, what I did is something similar. What I did was I create a temp first, a temp variable. So I just put empty. Then I put a for loop. Then I create a range starting from 1. Later I will explain why it must start from 1. Okay, so you will start from the index 1 first. So maybe I'll just create a list just for you easier to visualize. So this is the example. Basically, you will start from 1. You see that in this case, you will start from index 1 because this is index 0, index 1, and index 2. So start from 1, then until it will stop at the length of the mule. So in this case, 3. So now temp should be the first element, which is n minus 1. So now n is actually 1, right? Index 1. So 1 minus 1 equals 0. So temp will take the first element inside the list, which is on index 0. Then you will do a comparison. If temp equals to male, return true. So if temp is equals to the previous value in the index, it will return true. Means the meal has been served 2 days in a row. Okay, otherwise it will be false. So the answer is correct. Okay. So the last question is similar to the blackjack table. Is this a casino slot machine? Okay. Okay. So this is the play slot machine that will generate the result. So sometimes it's 0, sometimes it's 1, sometimes it will be a different value. Okay. Okay, so to be honest, when I first saw this question, right, I also not very sure how I do it. And I actually look at the answer, and from there, I try to understand, oh, what the answer actually means. And I'm able to sort of figure out the answer, the methods myself. Okay. So if you don't get it at all, it's okay. Definitely check out the answer and try to understand why it's being done in this way. Firstly, I know that okay, so this is the slot machine that I would definitely have to utilize. This is the one that give me the result, right? And this is the one that will tell me how many times this will be run. So it'll be run 1 time or 2 times or 3 times or 4 times or 5 times. Okay. So what I need to do is first I need to have create a variable called count. So count will be the variable that calculates the total number of values in each payout. Okay. So we calculate all the payouts together, sum it all up. So next create a for loop. So you will start from 0, index 0. Then it will stop at the number of times it runs. So this for loop will run many times as the number indicates over here. So if let's say it's n runs is 1000, that means this function will run 1000 times. So count plus equals. So every time you run this function, it will actually add up the payouts. So we use the play slot machine. Okay. Then next you need to calculate the average amount. So average payout equals to count divided by n runs. Okay. So this will be the total number of payout that we calculated, and this number of runs. So, and this will be the one that is the average. Okay. So you return average payout. So actually it doesn't really return you a result. So what I did was I actually put inside a code editor and then compare my code and the solution. So if it's the result is roughly the same, then I just assume that it's correct. Okay. So this is the solution. It's very similar to mine. I mean, my answer is very similar to theirs. So the only part I don't really understand is this one. It actually have a -1. I'm not very sure why they do that. And if not, the rest is pretty much the same. Just that theirs is cleaner. So it's like one sentence. Okay, but it's the same as mine. Mine is just a for loop. Okay. So that's it for this session. So I hope that you find this video helpful to you. And if you like this video, do give it a like, subscribe, and share with your friends. So I will see you in the next video.